Hey everybody, we are just 1 minute out. I'm going to wait one more minute before getting started, but welcome. How are all my light workers today? Thank you for joining me. A light worker is someone who's on earth, whose pure core mission and focus is to spread light and love. And if you're on this live stream right now, you're probably a light worker because you were guided to be here. Today, we're going to be talking about the law of attraction, manifestation, karmic patterns, how to find the perfect love. And I'm also going to be talking about current events and why the current events are happening on a spiritual level. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer here. I'm not talking about medical or political or physical. I'm purely talking about spiritual things today. I'm also going to do tarot cards for anybody who requests it and answer your questions as I'm talking. So I've added on the chat box what you should do if you have a question. You just put it right in there and I will answer it when I get to it. So let's get started. Right, don't worry if I don't get to your question right away. I do have it on a list and I will get to it. So we're going to open with a prayer for all those watching. In trust we are here, Divine Source, that we are here in the oneness of all that is truth, love, light, and life. Requesting guidance and information, nurturing and protecting those watching and myself participating in this conversation. We ask that all the guides, masters, and those loved ones in spirit join us to help us expand our knowledge and transform our understanding of why we are here today. We thank you for this now that we are experiencing together. Blessings and love to all. Amen. All right, I'm going to quick throw the cards for this upcoming week. So anybody watching, these cards are for you. Here we go. All right, everybody watching, that's good cards. You have a firm knowledge in your spirituality and what you're looking, what you have inside, you know that is true for you. And that's great. If you have new opportunities coming this week, you can decline them if you want, if they don't serve your highest or best purpose. And what we want to do with this one is, if you choose an opportunity this week to take on an opportunity, enlist the help of others, because the King of Wands means that you don't have to do it alone, but you will be the leader. All right, so who is here with me today? If you can just say hi to me in the chat box so I can see who's here, that's great. And if you also want to give me a thumbs up, I'll really appreciate it. So again, if you're into this live today, you're a light worker, and that means your core purpose for being on this earth is to spread love and light and kindness to everyone. All right, we are going to get to the first question that was asked to me earlier from Raja, and he asked, how do I attract the perfect partner? Hey, Lisa, how are you doing? Nice to see you here. Okay, so the question is, how do I attract the perfect partner? And this is a question I get asked a lot because I think everyone's looking for that special someone. But my question would be, I think there's a little bit to tweak in the question itself, because why are we defining the partner as perfect? Perhaps the universe hasn't brought you that partner yet because you're asking for the perfect partner, and nobody's perfect. So they can't bring you anybody who's perfect. So using the law of attraction in terms of perfect is where your blockage is. Especially on this earthly plane. I mean, really, look around. Do we know anybody is perfect? I'm not perfect. So use the words, try something for like perfect for me. I would like you to bring the perfect partner that's perfect for me. That's a start. Okay, because the universe will then bring you the person that is supposed to be a match for you, but will also bring you the lessons you're supposed to learn in this life. With that said, the relationship all relationships are not perfect, but when we're in a good relationship, a good loving relationship, that person should always bring us the lessons that we're supposed to learn. So it's not a matter of finding a partner who's just going to let us do whatever we want in order to be happy. The universe brings us people in our life to make us learn lessons, and that's going to be your, quote, perfect partner. That said, to find a loving relationship, okay, so we've gotten out of the way with a perfect partner. To find a loving relationship, the first step, to anyone who asks me this, I always ask them, well, how do you feel about yourself? Think about that. If you are not loving yourself in a so complete and unconditional way, and you're putting that out in the universe is going to bring you someone who does the same thing. How many of you can look back on your relationships and say, well, I don't understand why he or she didn't love or treat me well? Do you love and treat yourself well? Do you value yourself? That is the first step in bringing anything we want to manifest, anything. People, things, spirituality. We can manifest things. Ooh, it's football day. I got to turn that off. Okay. So that's the first step. You have to look inside yourself and think, do I love myself unconditionally? And when I do this myself, I think, yeah, I do love myself unconditionally. And then I get caught and I think, yeah, but I don't like this and I don't like this and I don't like this. Um, and that's even where I slip up sometimes. And then I catch myself and I say, oh, right, okay, I don't like how short-tempered I am sometimes. So I have to see it, I feel it, I release it. And that's a note to your guide to saying, oh, she learned that lesson. She learned that lesson, so we don't have to put that in front of her. So the first step to finding the perfect love for you, is to love yourself unconditionally and recognize the flaws that you have and then release them, because then they won't be there anymore, or at least they'll be there to a lesser extent. And what's important, really important to hear about finding a loving relationship is that if we're not completely happy with ourselves as we are, flaws and all, how can we expect the universe to bring us anything different? Does that make sense to all of you? So really, it does start with us and our vibration and what we're manifesting with this law of attraction. And I'm actually really happy that everyone's getting onto the law of attraction and understanding that's a little bit more complicated than it was 15 years ago. So when you speak to the universe about asking for a partner, be specific in traits and qualities, be as specific as you want. But here's the thing, you need to expect the unexpected. Usually that partner that's going to come to you is the one that you probably would never even look at or date, but it's he or she's turning your head because they just said something that you asked the universe for, or they're doing something that you asked the universe for. You need to look for those signs. You can't overlook anybody, because usually the universe will bring you somebody unexpected to teach you to trust the universe and to trust your own ability to manifest. So if I didn't clear it up for you, just put it in the chat box and I can swing back to that question. But if that was a good answer for you, can you give me a thumbs up or just let me know in the chat box so I can move on? I'm going to throw the cards one more time to see what's going up. Okay, I see a few of you liked it. Great. Anybody want a tarot reading? As I'm going on, all you need to do is just say like a general tarot reading, or you have a specific question, and then I'll throw the cards down for you. Okay. So, all right. So if you have your list, someone's messaging me somewhere else. So, right. If you have your list, great. You have your list, but you need to remember that it's what about you? What about you that is attracting these people into your life? How do you feel about yourself? And what's your vibration saying with the world that you're interacting with? Because you're bringing those people to you. So if you want good people to come to you, feel good about yourself, and then look around and look at all the good people and don't discount anybody. All right. So I'm going to talk about this global situation, please. Oh, Bob Johnson. All right, I'm going to do your cards in a minute after I talk about what this global situation is. And I'm not saying the word because it seems that social media does not like people who talk about this topic. And I'm going to state again, I'm not talking medical, I'm not talking political, I'm not talking physical. I fully support everything medically that we're supposed to be doing with the situation. The situation I'm talking about is the one we're all in our houses, and cyber meetings have become just a normal thing with masks and that sort of thing. So when I started thinking about the situation and I had to come up with a different word for it, my guides right away told me the wind. And I thought, that's weird. Why are you telling me it's the wind? And this is exactly what they said to me. They said the wind is part of nature. It's just a part of earthly weather pattern, but sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. Sometimes the wind is strong. Sometimes it's hardly anything at all. Right now, we are in the strongest part of the wind. And I was planning to talk to you about it all on the soul level and what we've learned about it. And what I've realized through my guides and meditation is that we were all given a choice several years ago. We were told several years ago that this was going to happen on the soul level. And it's happening because the new earth is coming into a transition, and only the people with the highest and most positive vibrations are going to go into that new earth. That stated, the new earth is not a physical thing. It's not physical. You're not going to one day live here and live somewhere else. The new earth, you're not even going to realize you're on it unless you're highly, highly intuitive and high vibration, where only like all bad things are going to start to diminish. So in that warning that we were given a few years ago, we were given a choice if we wanted to exit this life before the transition or not. So people who are elevated with their vibration and who are kind will make this transition. But many souls, since the question of the wind arriving, chose to leave this life and go elsewhere for whatever reason they chose. We don't judge that. But what we fear is going to come to us. So the main lesson in this whole concept of the wind is that we should not be fearing it. It's just here. And it's here to transition us into a different earth, one that's more loving and one that's more unconditional loving, that sort of thing. Because that is our main lesson here on earth, is that we're supposed to be learning unconditional love. And if we look around on the planet, do you think that's really happening? I mean, how many of us look at all these situations that are going on and think, why are they getting so upset? Why are they fighting? Why did that bad thing happen? It really has to do with these lessons that we're supposed to be learning. And it's so much easier to go into the polarity of thinking, the negative thinking. By polarity, I mean one side or the other. So, and you can pick any country in the world and there's polarity. Any topic, there's polarity. The lesson we're learning here, in addition with the wind, with fear, in the large sense on earth, is how to live with unconditional love. And that means how to love each other, even if we don't agree with necessarily what everybody's saying. It's not up for us to judge. And I learned this a lot. I mean, growing up Catholic, I learned this lesson big time when I learned about abortion, because as Catholics, we were told, abortion's a sin. And I kept thinking, like, it can't be, a sin, because there's so many different reasons that it might be necessary. But when I learned about it on a soul level, where the soul of the mother and the soul of this child both needed to learn something, that we don't judge. Like, it's not up for us to judge. They're on their own path. So abortion's a really great topic for me to discuss with polarity, because I completely came to the middle, where I don't judge anybody anymore with that, because I don't know what their lessons are. So if we get back to the wind, when you fear something, it comes to you. And I think that's what we've been seeing in 2020, is where everybody is just so massively afraid of this wind that it keeps growing and growing and growing. And that's the law of attraction. That's what's happening, is that everyone's so panicked. Now, I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying not to take precautions, because you should. It is a real thing. You do need to take precautions, but you need to stay neutral about it. So I had a close family member actually get the wind, and in the hospital, the whole thing. And I had dreams for a week before she was actually diagnosed, and I would feel it, what it felt like, and it is horrible. And she, don't think she would have gone into the hospital had I not pushed a member of my family to call this person and say, please go to the doctor. But the thing is, she was also being neutral. That's the great thing about this person. She does stay very neutral most of the time. But in staying neutral, that doesn't mean that she wasn't going to get it. That just meant that she was just going to handle it the way, she handles anything, going to the grocery store. So she recovered fully. I mean, she's in the age bracket where they keep saying it's in the danger zone. She had pre-existing conditions, but she recovered fully because she didn't get overly scared, overly fearful. So if you get it, you get it, and you just roll with it. You have lessons to learn if you get it. You have lessons to learn if you don't. And that's the simple thing about this whole wind concept, is that we can't fear it because we're all supposed to be learning lessons, whether we get it or not, whether we recover or not. There's a lesson for everybody in this concept. So I want you to remember that when we go on at the end of this year and it's going into the next year, and that this event, the wind, is happening. Okay, don't get so scared about it. Don't really get so upset that, oh, the world's ending. It's not ending. It's a test in fear. And all we need to do is just stay neutral, take the precautions that they're recommending, and live your life. And, just understand that's how the law of attraction works. So stay neutral and, send love to everybody who might have it, who is scared of it. Send love to them because they need it and they don't understand the law of attraction, but we do, right? We do. Hi, Raja, how are you? I already answered your question, but if you want me to swing back to it, I can. If you want to give me just a thumbs up if you heard it or not. If anybody has any questions about this situation we're in 2020 and how spiritually we should handle it, let me know. Just put the question back in the chat box, because I really want everybody to understand that this is not the end of the world. This is not something we're supposed to be overly fearful of. It's just something else that's happening. And so again, I'm going to repeat this one last time before we move on. There are lessons to be learned in this whole situation. If you don't have it, if you have it, if you recover, if you don't, everybody has a lesson to learn. And the lesson, honestly, basically is unconditional love. It's an opportunity for all of us to love each other, even just a little bit more. And I think the world needs that right now. Do you agree? All right. Let me move on to, the next question is from Neha. How to attract a life partner, money and soul purpose. Okay, so I will go back to the life partner real quick because she asked it again. Basically, to attract your life partner, you have to stop using the word perfect, because the universe isn't going to bring you the perfect person, because there is no perfect person. You need to come up with your list of things that you want, be specific, but also keep your mind open to other people who you'd never even look at, because usually the universe is going to bring you somebody new to teach you to trust the universe. Additionally, you need to love yourself unconditionally. You need to love yourself, flaws and all. And when you love yourself that deeply, you will attract somebody else who loves you that deeply, because you can only attract somebody who loves you as deeply as you love yourself. Does that make sense to everybody? You're not going to find somebody to come and fill up your, love bowl inside of you. You need to fill that up. And what happens is, if your love bowl inside of you is full, you'll attract somebody else with a full love bowl, and then you'll just share, and it'll be a great life. Except, caveat, the universe is always going to bring you somebody to teach you a lesson and challenge you. It's never going to be, bring me somebody, let me do whatever I want, so my life is easy. That's never going to happen. So when I read the question about perfect partner, that's what really got me. It was, we're not looking for the perfect partner. We're looking for the partner that is perfect for us. But first, we need to love ourselves. If you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat box, or you can email me. My email address is above. Okay, so she also asked how to attract money, which is material things. And this is what people want to know all the time. How do I get a big house? How do I get a good job? How do I get more money? First, again, we're going to start with loving yourself inside. That is like the stop point of the law of attraction. If you can't love yourself unconditionally inside, you're never going to manifest anything. And I did have a good discussion with somebody on chat on one of my comments, and it occurred because he was telling me that I don't agree with religion, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even getting into that. But it occurred to me, like, Jesus manifested fish and wine. And that's a lesson we all learn. Jesus manifested fish and wine, and we all think it's a miracle, but really, Jesus was human. So we are human. We can do the same thing. The difference is Jesus loved himself unconditionally, and that's what he was trying to teach everybody else. So that's a really good thinking point when you go to try to manifest something. The next thing with manifesting material things is not coming from a place of lack, and that is what everybody does. Oh, I don't have this. Please give me this. What the universe hears is, I don't have enough money, so please keep giving me not enough money. The universe matches what we put out. So if you're telling the universe, I don't have enough, they're going to say, well, I'm not going to give you enough. So the statement to say, and I'm going to tell everybody right now, the statement to say for the universe to start seeing that you're changing your vibration and to get you material things is to say, the universe has, to remedy this, the universe says, you say to the universe, I have all I need to live comfortably and happily. That's the first thing. I have all I need to live comfortably and happily. And that's something you can say every day. You can say that every hour if you want, because that'll get your vibration up, and your law of attraction vibration will start telling the universe that quicker. So I have all that I need comfortably and happily. And then add, the universe will provide all that I need to live my highest and best life. So in knowing that the universe is going to bring you that, and you tell the universe that, the universe will bring you what you need to live your highest and best life. And your highest and best life looks different from anybody's highest and best life. So my highest and best life is not going to look the same as somebody who's, another country over with a whole different life circumstance. So those are the words I'm going to repeat one more time. You say, I have all I need to live comfortably and happily. The universe will provide all that I need to live along my highest life path. And then you can list those things. Do not put in there that you want this, you want this, you want this. You just say, it would be nice, I like this, I like this, I like this. Don't put in there that you don't have this, but you want it. You don't have this, but you want it, because that's lack again. All right. And we really need to shift our thinking into, you already have what you want from the universe. You just need to know how to get it with matching vibrations. The universe wants to give it to you. So when you ask for material things, number one, start with loving yourself unconditionally. Number two, do not come from a place of lack. I have all I need to live this life comfortably and happily. And then you move on from there and talk to the universe. And then she's asking about your soul purpose. And I thought this was an interesting question, because I haven't had anybody actually ask me this directly yet. For your soul purpose, it's simple and it's complicated. So I'm going to give you the simple version first, and then we'll get into the more complicated. The simple version is really, we are literally love. At the soul level, if we take our body off, everything, we are a ball of love, glowing love like a star in the sky. And we're here to unconditionally love everybody else and teach everybody else that we can unconditionally love them and give them our bright light, no matter what the situation is. I mean, honestly, I keep thinking, and I'm only going to touch on this situation because I try not to talk about religion too much, but the situation where that poor French teacher got killed in the middle of the street a month or two ago, okay? That was hard for me to take. That was really hard for me to understand why that happened. I'm going to cry. Hold on. I take in a lot of this. That was really hard for me to understand why that teacher was killed. But then I had to go back and go, well, I can't judge that, okay? Because that was that person's choice. And we have to love these people unconditionally. And this is a really hard thing to do, to look around at people who do horrible things and send them love. But it is what I do. I mentally send people who need it love. And the people who do the worst things need the most love. So you don't have to go up to them on the street and go, I love you so much, because first they're going to think you're a psycho. Second, you can do this personally. Just do it in your head when you're going to sleep at night or you're meditating. Just imagine red and pink hearts going out into the universe and ask them to go to everybody that needs them the most. And that's going to help the world. And that's going to be you doing your life's purpose, is trying to show everybody unconditional love. And you do it every day in life too. Just be as nice as possible. And when I mean nice as possible, I mean be overly nice. Be overly nice to people. So if and when they ever say anything bad about you, other people or yourself, I can be like, I wasn't like that. I know I was nice. So try not to, for your show unconditional love, try not to get others people's approval. Your approval is what matters. All right. So if nobody else is giving you that love, that's okay. You just send it out and you love yourself, because we have a never ending bowl of love inside of us. We just have to use it. Okay. So the more complicated answer to what your soul purpose is, um, hold on, I'm going to go back one more thing. So when we're talking about unconditional love and the state of the world that we're in, again, I'm going to tell you, it is so, like, we'll go back to that teacher who got killed in the street. It's so much easier. It really is. It's so much easier just to stop and be negative and go into polarity and talk about, well, this is right and that's wrong, and this is right and that's wrong. And the thing is, what we're here to do is just have balance. So when we start looking for somebody else's viewpoint, we're not condoning it or saying it was right. We're looking from their other viewpoint. That's us giving them unconditional love, because we're giving them consideration. And isn't that what we want from everybody else? Like, we want to be considered as valuable to everybody else, correct? So that is why we're here, is simply unconditional love. Send it to everybody, give yourself unconditional love, and just be overly nice as possible every day. So your soul purpose in a more complex level is very personal. It is so personal that I can't answer this question for you in a group format. And the reason is because I get so much information from everybody's guides that I can't delineate which one's for you. This is where I usually do one-to-one sessions with people, and I help them find their soul purpose and then break through their patterns and live their highest and best life. But here's how you can do this. If you want to try to figure out your purpose, your specific lessons that you're supposed to learn, you need to think about your life. Think about the highest challenge you're having right now. Okay, everybody have it? Your highest challenge. Then you're going to and think about how you feel in this challenge. Don't think about anybody else, just think about your feelings. Now, you're going to go back in your life and think about other situations where you felt almost exactly the same, or this situation in some form has showed up throughout your life. Because any situation you're dealing with right now, it has come before in your life and you didn't learn your lesson. So it keeps coming up. And this is your soul, this is your purpose. So when you figure out how to learn your lesson, that's when you move on to, you level up to the next lesson and your high vibration. But whatever you're dealing with right now has probably happened to you before in life. It's made you feel this way, or there's been similar situations. That's called a pattern. And when you recognize that pattern and you start to clear it, your life changes in dramatic ways. So that's what I can tell you how to find your soul purpose without actually directly working with you. If you want to take advantage of 30 minutes of me for free, you can email me at keytohappiness@gmail.com, or just go straight to my Patreon and there's more information there. Let me talk about generational patterns, because I had experience with generational patterns and I have several clients who also have generational patterns. And pop psychology likes to call these familiar learned behaviors, or familial patterns, where one thing happens to somebody in their family, then happens to a next, then happens to a next, and they don't ever understand why, other than to say it's a learned thing, when really most of them are generational patterns. Where in my personal experience, I was abused by a member of my family, and I went back, and my mother was abused by that member of her family. So it was my brother. So she was abused by her brother. And then my grandmother was abused by her brother. And when I found that out, I thought, okay, there has to be something to that. That there has to, and there was. That's called a generational pattern. And where I had to learn my lesson there was that I'm valuable and I'm important. And even though somebody had misused me, I'm not going to stay a victim my entire life. Whereas my mother and my grandmother kind of did. And when I clear that pattern, the pattern gets cleared for everybody down my ancestral line, and I cleared it for my mom and my grandma. So identifying those patterns and stepping out of the resentment of the challenge is probably the most difficult part, because you have a lot of emotion attached to that, especially trauma that happened in your childhood. But the first step to identifying and then clearing a generational pattern is trying to step out of the emotion and think, okay, I'm not a victim anymore. How am I going to move on in my life? and realize that I can live a better life without holding all of this on my side. Because really, when I was holding all of that on my side, when I was carrying all of that like victimization and holding me down, it, I was not happy. And I don't think anybody could tell you I was happy. I got to the point where I just didn't see the value in life. Not that I wanted to commit suicide, but I just didn't understand why I was here. And I see that in many of the people I talk to have that same question, like, why am I here if all of these bad things are happening to me? And the simple answer is, you're here to learn a lesson, and let's figure out what that lesson is. All right, so I'm going to do, I'll do tarot real quick for Bob. All right, let's see. While I'm doing this, everybody, I want you to know that I set up a GoFundMe for one of my viewers. She's a social worker at a school in India. And forgive me if I'm not saying this correctly, but it's called Snehalaya. Did I get that right? Snehalaya. It's an organization with the motto of get them off the streets and get them on their feet. And basically, they take children who would otherwise be homeless and take care of them for all the way up to 18. And then after they turn 18, there's an aftercare program where they take care of them. These are children who've been abandoned and abused, special needs kids, kids who don't have parents. And when I contacted this organization to ask if they needed any help, they said, yeah. So I set up a GoFundMe, which is on my YouTube page. You can look at that, and I will also, if my moderator Bob, can you put that in there? The GoFundMe page, please. Just anything you can donate. I know 2020 has been hard. Anything you can donate, I really appreciate it. These kids in India are so great. When I saw the videos of them, I thought, wow. Oh, thanks, Julie. Yay, I practiced how to say it. Okay. So I'm going to, if I can't get it in here, I will post the link to my GoFundMe afterwards when I'm done with the live and put it in the comments section. Okay, Bob, you're on the verge of a breakthrough. You have Ace of Swords. You need to trust your intuition above all. Okay, you're on the verge of a breakthrough. Hold on. This is definitely career oriented. I'm seeing a desk and a computer. Definitely career oriented. You're on the verge of a breakthrough. You trust your intuition. Don't let anybody else tell you to get you off course. And the Justice card above all. So you're going to see justice in some form with business, and you're going to end up on top. And there's no doubt about it. Yeah, your guides are applauding. Hey, okay. So trust your intuition. There's a big breakthrough coming through, and there's going to be justice. You're going to see justice, so you should be happy about that. If anybody else wants a tarot reading, just put it in the box, and I will throw your cards for you and tell you what's going on. Just give me either general, or you can give me a question, and I can ask, and we'll see what happens with that. All right, so my next questions that I get from a lot of people are, well, how do I talk to my guides? You talk to your guides all the time. And I talk to my guides all the time because, yeah, I am psychic. I can hear them, and they're quite loud sometimes if I don't pay attention, you know. But you can talk to your guides too, and your guides want you to talk to them, okay? All you have to do is talk, okay? All right, Lisa, I'll get to you in a second, okay? So all you have to do is talk to your guides and say, anything you want to talk about, like, I'm feeling really down today. Could you help me, guide me towards, something that's going to make me feel good, or only bring me good people today? Just they're like gatekeepers. Keep all your guides, keep everybody you don't want out, but you have to tell them. So on Earth, with this earthly plane that we have and its free will, they also have to abide by the free will. So the guides, even if they see a bad person coming and it's gonna rob you or do something, the guides can't stop that unless you tell them, can keep all bad people away from me. Okay, bad things might still happen, and if they do, then that's for a lesson. But talk to your guides. Just talk to them. Okay, they will also bring you dreams. Dreams are the easiest thing for guides to talk to you with, because you're in that unconscious state, and they can bring down their vibration long enough to bring you information. And the dreams that your guides give you are extremely clear. It's not like one of these wonky dreams where you're kind of in a bubble and you're, okay, your guides, will bring you extremely clear dreams if you ask them. So if you're having a problem, what you want to do before you go to sleep at night is say, guides, can you please just give me a dream that helps me know what to do in this situation? And they will. So you also need to ask that you remember it. So make sure you keep paper and pencil next to your bed, because you know how dreams kind of float away. When you wake up, if you have a dream like that, write everything down. So that way when you can go back, you can get to it. The other way you can talk to your guides, so again, you don't look like a psycho walking down the street talking to yourself, is you can tell them that they're allowed to listen to your thoughts, because they can't unless you give them permission. So you can talk to them in your head. And that's probably a lot better to do in public than walk down the street and talk to yourself when you're really talking to your guides. The other tip is my guides, they're telling me right now, they're always coming from this side. So if you get ringing in your ears on the right side, that's generally from your guides. Now, some people say the left side's for your spirits, but I get it really strong in both. But my guides are always here. I always can feel them. And when you are able to raise your vibration, and I'm going to say it again, everybody's psychic, everybody's empathic. You just have to open yourself to it, and you have to meditate and work on opening your third eye, and you'll get there. All right. So yeah, you can feel them here. They're always on the right side. But yeah, just talk to them. I mean, they're not these beings that are up on thrones. Guides are actually our equals on the other side, and they are learning through our life. So our life lessons, our guides are learning with us. They just didn't want to incarnate. So they're with us. So I imagine my guides are doing this most of the time, or at least for most of my life. They're probably like, why'd you do that? Now, I'm hoping it's a little better, but your guides are learning through you too. So they're not above you in station. They are right with you, and they want to help you though. So they have like the map for your life, but you just have to ask for it, and you have to ask questions to them, and they'll give you answers. But it's more of a personal relationship. So make sure that you tell them what kind of answers you'd like, dreams or signs, or, I mean, they will give them to you. You just have to ask. Next question. Oh, wait, I want to go to Lisa real quick. Lisa is one of my solid followers. I really appreciate you, Lisa. Thank you so much. And Julie. Raja. All right, here we go. General one for Lisa. Ooh, that one flipped over, so that's important. Oh, you have a big change coming. All right. All right, Lisa, this is interesting. You have a big change coming that you're resisting. You don't want to change, like you don't want to let it go, but it's going to happen. And you're going to be healthier knowing, happier, healthier, knowing that you can just let it go. It's a good thing. This change, whatever's happening. I'm hearing the word schools, kids. I've seen kids, but I don't think schools, kids. That's all they keep saying. Schools, kids, schools, kids. This, you need to let it go. Hey, Jerry, how you doing? Let go whatever this is, because it's going to be better for you to stay on your life path, even though you really don't want to let go of it. Ooh, slow down. 8 of Wands. Okay, yep. You got 2 cards in a row, Lisa, that said, stop resisting change. That means this is something big that you really don't want to let go of. Okay, so figure out whatever it is. And still seeing like little feet kids running through. So if you can tell me what that is, that would be great. But there's 2 cards. It's stop resisting change. The change is needed. This is what you need to grow. So just go with it. It's going to be for your best interest. And then your last card is the reversed Wheel of Fortune. And reversed Wheel of Fortune definitely means that you're swinging to more of the negative bad luck. I'll get to you too, Julie, okay? So if you don't let go of whatever this is, your Wheel of Fortune is going to turn towards the negative. And the Wheel of Fortune card is here to remind us that life turns positive, negative, positive, negative. And it's really up to us to have to balance that. So if we balance our positive, negative energy into that, what I was talking about before, the neutral from polarity, your Wheel of Fortune will always stay in more of a positive way. So whatever this is, Lisa, you have a really big sign here that you need to let go of something in your life that is holding you back. That's what they're telling me. It's holding you back big time. Oh, Lisa, you're a teacher. There's something in school, kids that you're frustrated, right? You're frustrated. I'm not going to get too personal over a live chat, but they're telling you just to let it go. I'm seeing that word literally, big blocks. Let it go, because it's not good for your life path. All right, let me go to Julie real quick. Julie, I want to know why I can feel others, sense pain. Julie, because you're empathic. Julie wants to know, if possible, I want to know why I can feel others, sense the pain of others. I can feel their emotions and thoughts. It's good, but it's too much for me. Why does this happen? Julie, it's because you are opening up to the other side. Your skills are coming online. So we're taught from a very, very young age that none of this is real, right? We're taught from a very young age that religion is it. This is what we need to learn. Our parents, some parents are atheists. They teach us our spirituality, and they kind of like bang out of us like anything else we know. Like, I've been seeing spirits since I was a kid, but I learned real quick not to tell anybody, because again, think you're crazy. So quick story. My father-in-law had passed away, and the day he passed away, I went into my house to feed our dogs, and my father-in-law literally standing in my breakfast room in spirit form talking to me, and I'm like, can't deal with this right now, and jetted, because I was where Julie is. I was still not really embracing what my skills are. So Julie, what you're doing here is that that's your empathic sense where you can feel others. So sometimes I have to stop because I'm going to cry, because I can feel other people. When I talk about news stories, I cannot watch the news. I don't know about you, Julie. I cannot watch the news because I absorb all of that negativity. When I'm in crowds, just last night we were driving around, and there was a car accident. My husband will actually attest to this. There was a car accident, and I got like, when I say sad, I mean like a blanket of sadness fell over me. And he looked at me and he was like, maybe somebody died in that car accident. And I'm like, yeah, I think somebody did. But that's empathic. You're empathic, Julie. So what you need to do, and I know there's others out there who are listening to this question, because you all have the same, if you're on this channel, you're going to start becoming empathic. So what you need to do, Julie, is ask your guides to help you develop these senses, but also protect you with the white light of the Holy Spirit. And this is literally what I say, keep everybody else's everything off of me, and keep my positivity with me. And that's how I'm able to function during the day. Before I knew that I was empathic, or before I actually was like admitting that I was, I would absorb everything, and it just takes you down, doesn't it? It makes you feel like, ugh. And yeah, I mean, that's why I don't ever watch the news. I don't ever watch sad movies. What is that movie? Dog's Purpose. Awesome movie. Awesome. If you haven't seen it, watch it. But I sobbed through the whole thing. The dog died 5 times. 5 times. Okay. So I sobbed, and my family kept turning around going, Mom is still crying. It's because I absorb all of it. So you have to watch what you experience in life if you're an empath. Okay. Julie, I can talk to you about that next week when we talk. Okay. All right. Anybody else want tarot right now? I can move on to the next questions. All right. So if you have a question or you want tarot, just put it in the drop box here. Jerry, if you want another tarot reading, let me know, okay? Because I'm kind of getting from your guides that you should have one. But just let me know. So the other question that I get a lot, actually, I started this question, was how did I end up with these parents? Because if you don't know my story is a little crazy, and so are my parents. So I asked a lot, like, how did I end up with this family? How did I end up here? And okay, Jerry, I'll get to you in a sec, okay? Much love to you, Julie, too. And so going on this, I realized when we write our soul contracts, we have complete control of who our parents are. So I, for some reason, chose the parents that I have. And I say for some reason flippantly like that because I already know now. But when I realized that, I was like, man, I made a bad choice. I was born with an APGAR of 2 because I think I came out and was like, I'm going back. But you choose your parents, you choose your family for specific reasons to teach you what you're supposed to learn. So the first 30 years of our life generally is how we're supposed to learn our lessons from past life karma. Generally around the age of 25, 26, 27, something large is going to happen in your life where it turns your head and goes, I think I need to change my life. Something's going on here. Um, Everybody has it. Everybody has it. I have it. Holly has it. Um, my husband has. I mean, everybody between that age, something happens, and that catastrophic, whatever it is meant to put you on your correct path and stop living out the karma from past. All right. The next 30 years are for you to live your life's past and get to the highest and best life. The next 30 years are kind of extra if you haven't really solved much, you're still around. That's why I always kind of look at people who are kind of older and think, what do they have to learn? So understand that we pick our family, we pick our children. Our children pick us. I used to say every night to my kids, "Thank you for choosing me as to be your mom," because they did choose me. Um, and the reason I can tell you this so firmly about parents is that my husband, and I don't think he'll mind me sharing this, he's adopted and he got adopted into a spectacular family. I mean, I think they came out of an LL Bean catalog. I mean, like they're just spectacular. Keep telling me lucked out. Like I always wanted to be adopted. Why couldn't I have been adopted? And as we met, like his birth family, who's just fine, I realized that, but he's nothing like them, like nothing like them. And that's not learned behavior, that comes from within. So as I went on my path of learning about soul contracts, I tapped into his, and he was definitely picking these two parents he grew up with, but they were having trouble having children at the time. So I could totally see my husband going, okay, well, that's not going to work. Let me see who else, what teenager is going to get pregnant there. I'm going to go in there and I'm getting over that family and I'm going to be adopted. So we work it out. So definitely he was meant to have the parents he grew up with, not the ones he was born to. It was just kind of a path to get to them because they were having struggles with fertility. And that parenting is interesting. Like your soul contracts are interesting because you have to look back and think, okay, what's the reason I chose them? All right, Jerry, I'll do your cards real quick. Toronto, Jerry, is it really cold where you are? Like, how cold is it in Toronto right now? All right, here we go. Jerry, heavy burdens and responsibilities again. That's 1 degree. God bless you. I kind of miss the cold weather, but not that much. God bless you. Jerry, you have heavy burdens again. You're choosing to play it safe. Break down to bits. Okay, so you need to break whatever this down into little tiny bits. It's not the same problem as last week. No. This feels extremely heavy. And it sets you back. Okay, so you have the Five of Cups reversed. It sets you back in a way where you're not wanting to let go of something. So like I was describing before, like me carrying along, it's kind of how I feel with it. It's weighing you down and you're not wanting to let it go. I'm going to put another card down here and see where this is going. Okay, so you need to look at the situation and put it to the side and start caring for yourself first, because it's affecting everything else around you. It's affecting your vibrations, it's affecting your mood, it's affecting everything. So this heavy burden, you need to put a pin in it for a second and heal yourself with whatever this did to you, and then go back to it. Does that make sense to you, Jerry? All right, while I'm waiting for her to answer, The next question I got were, simple things you can do to raise your vibration and make the law of attraction work better for you. Okay, so I go into all of this, like how you have to love yourself and blah, blah, blah. Hold on, Jerry. I'll get back to you 1 second, okay? Yeah, your guides are saying yes. This is something to do with your childhood. And I think that came right after I was talking about parents, because you're holding on to something that you need to let go and heal yourself from. Because when you keep that around, it kind of clouds who you really are. So when you decide that you're that person of whatever happened, you decide that you're that person, it clouds who you really are. And then you consciously think, oh, this must be who I am. Oh hum. When really, and when you let it go, it it's like a snakeskin, it comes off and you emerge to the person you really are. I'm getting huge chills right now. This is exactly. Yeah, you've been held down a lot, right? You've been held down by situations that you've wanted to. Yeah, my throat's dry. You've wanted to talk and you can't. You've wanted to say things and you can't for some reason. I mean, I'm honestly wanting to talk to you more about this one-on-one. So if you could email me, I mean, I could definitely help you with this. No cost. All right. My email address is above. All right. So simple things to do to raise your vibration and make the law of attraction work for you. So I'm always talking about like loving yourself. And I know, it's a job for some people to get to that. But here's some simple things you can do. So the first thing is to declutter. Like declutter your surroundings, your house, your car, your closet. Great, Jerry. I can't wait to hear from you. I really think it's important. I need to talk to you. Okay. So you declutter everything. So I haven't watched this show yet, only because like it makes me nervous. I grew up in a hoarder house. Like my mom's a straight up hoarder. Like you open our door and we had a path through the house, and she never let us throw out anything. So living in that environment, going to this environment where it's quite minimalistic, feels very freeing. Like I can breathe now. Whereas the clutter made it everything, knowing I'm empathic and psychic, that made everything really, really hard to deal with. So, and my vibration was not great when I was a kid or a teenager. No, I mean, I was attracting all the bad kids to me. I was attracting really bad situations. If you've watched my videos, you'll understand that. So now when I grew up and I decluttered, it really has opened an ability for me to raise my vibration because it gave me the physical room and the spiritual room to do so. The second thing is you need to get out in nature. All right. Whatever you love, get into it. So I love the water. I love the ocean. And that's where I do my best thinking, is the water. And I usually swim, and I'm not even going to tell you what the temperature is today because you're all going to like laugh at me. But the pool's too cold, so I can't get in. And I've really been feeling drained just because I'm not able to get in the water in order to kind of like recoup. But get in the water, get out into nature, get your feet on the ground if you're more into like the woods or the mountains. If you like the air, find a way to get up in the air and, parasailing or hot air, something. You need to get out in nature because you will reconnect with source. You'll reconnect with source. That is what we do when we're out in nature. Is we reconnect with source. And for those of you who don't know where source is the word, most people call it God, but it's source energy. It's energy, and we all come from that energy. We're all energy and love. So when I say source, that's what I mean. So to reconnect with source and raise your vibration, you need to get out in nature. You also need, excuse me 1 second. I'm sorry, I try not to do that on camera. I'm really dry. You also need to consider where you are with polarity in your mindset. So also, this is another reason I had to turn off the news and social media for the last, 18 months. I cannot get sucked into the polarity of politics and religion, because when you're sucked into that polarity, so think of it as a line, and here's the middle where you're trying to stay balanced and you're trying to look from all views, right? Okay, it's like a seesaw. So if you're on one side of it, does seesaw go up? No. Seesaw does not go up. So let's say you go to the other side. Does that seesaw go up? No, seesaw does not go up. You need to be here so you can be perfectly balanced in your vibration and then raise it up together. So think about anything that you are polarized about, any topic that kind of gets you like, oh, I can't believe this and I can't believe that. That you are in a state of polarity and you need to get yourself out of it. And that is how vibration will be raised big time. All right. If you have questions, let me know, because it's something I'm very passionate about explaining to people, because that is not giving up your right to have an opinion. That's just taking yourself out of this negative vibe that we have going on right now in 2020. All right. You have your opinions, state your opinions. Just don't get so wrapped up into it that you feel like, which a vast majority of people do right now. The next one is be impulsive. Okay, this is big, because normally we go day to day and we do the same things day to day to day to day. And when we get into that kind of rut and the drudgery of day to day operations, and we start thinking, God, this is my life. This is my life. Like I'm envisioning just carrying a wheelbarrow. Is this my life? When you're impulsive and you do something out of the ordinary, but let me tell you, positively out of the ordinary. Like, a couple years ago, somebody was buying drinks for somebody in the Starbucks line. Like, that's impulsive. Okay. Your vibration raises. Okay. Your timeline will also move to a better timeline if you start doing more impulsive, positive things. The same can be said if you start doing more impulsive, negative things, you're going towards a negative timeline. So the bigger the impulse is, the larger the change will be. If it's in the positive, your life is moving in the right direction and your vibration will be raised 1,000 times, if we're going to put it in numbers. So don't stay in the same life that you are hating. Do something impulsive to change it. The next two things I'm sure you've heard before, but I'm going to repeat them. You visualize your highest and best life. I do have a meditation for this on my channel. A lot of people like it, but you don't even have to do a meditation for it. You literally can just sit in your office and close your eyes and imagine what you want your life to look like at its highest and best point, but you cannot have any negativity in there. So if you have any negative feelings about somebody and they're in your highest and best life, only think of them in the positive. What do you want to see them as? And then you meditate. Meditation is a cornerstone to this process, only because it helps us get in touch with source, get in touch with our guides and our angels and our masters on a deeper level. It's easier for them to get a hold of us when we meditate. On all of my meditations, I always state that when you first start to meditate, you're going to fall asleep. And that is just normal. You have to kind of train yourself to stay awake. And meditation is great because your mind's still awake, but your entire body isn't there. Like you don't even feel it. And when you're not in your body, because technically in meditation, you're lifting yourself up onto the astral plane, you can get a lot of work done and to better yourself. So when you come out of meditation, you should feel light and airy and positive and happy. If you come out of meditation feeling like kind of soggy and not really improved, then you might want to try a different meditation. But meditation will help you raise your vibration too. So those are my 5 quick tips. Declutter, get out in nature, consider polarity and where you are in your mindset, be impulsive, but impulsive with a positive notion, visualize and meditate to raise your vibration. Let's see if any more questions. I have one more thing I'm going to go over with you. Any more tarot or questions, please put them in the chat box and I'll answer them for you. So this question I thought about last night. I was like, I'm just going to throw it in. So what do I say to people who laugh and say this whole concept is nuts? Okay, I have a lot of people who say that. A lot of people who tell me that, like, I'm going to hell. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. What do I say to those people? And I think I'm supposed to say this because as you all move closer into this process, you're going to need to take on this mindset. All right. Everybody has their own path in life. So I'm going to say that a million times because it's so true. Everybody has their own path in life. So we shouldn't judge. People who don't understand this concept of spirituality, I'm not saying I'm higher than or I'm more advanced than. I'm not saying that. I just understand things differently. The people who aren't comfortable with what I'm talking about and they get rooted back into their like religious, and I say religious meaning it's different than spirituality. Okay. we're going to state that, and I'll go into that at a different point. But they get rooted into, if I'm not agreeing with they're agreeing to, then I'm wrong. The thing is, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to judge anybody and what they believe. I'm just here to state how I see things. And if people want to learn, then I will help them. But the people who judge me then aren't ready for this kind of spirituality. So that's why I always say, when people have like bad comments on my page, I always say to them that, like, why are you even here? Like, I don't go to like your kind of pages and like harass you. Like, why are you even bothering? So yeah, it's not our job to judge anybody. It's not anybody else's job to judge us. Just understand that if you move into this path, and you will, all of you on here are light workers, just understand that people may not get it, and that's okay, because this is not on their path. This is on our path. And that's the way I like to look at it. Okay, so I'm going to wait 2 more minutes to see if there are any more questions or tarot requests. What I would like to know, I promised myself that I got to 400 subscribers. I was going to put a poll out, but I don't think YouTube's working quite well with the comments community section of my page. So I'm just going to say it here. I'm really interested in knowing what you guys want more of video-wise on my channel. Do you want more live streams? Do you want more book reviews? Do you want more discussion of how my journey went and how I got here? More guided meditations, more detailed explanations of spirituality concepts, or the step-by-step instructions of how to put them in your life, positivity reminders, anything that you want to see, that you like to see on my channel. I'd like to know that, because I want to give you more of what you like. All right. So you could either put it in the comment section below, or put it in the chat box, or you could even email me. It's fine. I'm just going to remind you that I do have a Patreon for one-to-one support for people, and it's not taking the place of my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is for everybody to learn, where my Patreon channel is for the one-to-one support that I can't teach the masses. It's specifically for one-to-one to help one person along on their path. I know a lot of YouTubers are just like, hey, give me money. But I'm providing a service. There's lots of services I'm providing over there. So I hope you understand that. All right. So, okay, Carrie. Hey, Carrie, how are you doing? All right. Let me get a general tarot card reading for her. Wow, they're making me shuffle these a lot, Carrie. Okay. One more. There we go. Okay. All right. Carrie, you're feeling really disappointed with the world right now. And yeah, that's what I was like when I was spacing out just a little bit. Like, I was feeling like you're disconnected, or you're removed when they say the world, like your world, whatever's going on in your world. Oh, you just woke up. Oh, sorry. Okay. So yeah, you're disconnected. So you're relying on inner wisdom. Rely on inner wisdom, and then choose. And then, not reverse swords. You're going deep inside of you. Deep, deep inside of you about something. I need another card. Hold on. You do feel that way. You feel disconnected and disappointed in the world. Okay. All right. Reverse 7 of Pentacles. So reflection. Yeah, you're reflecting. There's some situation in your life where it has to do with work or money. I'll let you know in 1 second. It's more financial based, not so much work. That you've been struggling with. And you need to reflect on it. It might not work out the way you want it to work out, but if it doesn't work out that way, that's okay. That's what they're telling me. It's not supposed to work out the way you have your mind set on it. And this is connected to you feeling disconnected with the world. Like, you're very disappointed in the world and how that's affecting you personally. And somewhere in there, it's affecting your finances. like you haven't been able to work, like working from home has been a struggle. Am I on the right path there? Mm-mm. No, I'm off. I'm off. Hold on. Okay. But you're at home. You're at home. Okay. Yeah, you're disconnected. Do one more. It just, the main core here is that you're disappointed with the world, and the whole lesson here is you just need to be. Um, if you want to go back earlier in this live stream and go back to when I'm talking about the wind, which is the current world situation, and how we just need to not be, that's it, not be scared, not be scared. Not be scared of any of it, because fear just creates more fear and more negativity in the world. And that's why kind of this hasn't gone away on a spiritual level. Um, but yeah, I really feel like this is affecting you. So just be. That's what this card is. The Four of Cups reversed just means that you are a little tipped over, and you just need to be with whatever the situation is, and it's going to improve. Does that make sense to you, or do you want to ask another question that I can clarify? I'm trying to remember one last question that I was going to answer, and I don't remember what it was. I don't have it written. And it has to do with this man that was commenting to me on my page earlier this week, and he kept trying to tell me that I was Carrie, you do just worry. Yeah, this is all just meaning don't worry so much, okay? Don't worry so much, and just trust your intuition. Make sure you're okay. Follow precautions. With anything you worry about, you're going to be okay. There's nothing negative I'm feeling at all for you. Just this burden of, disappointment. All right, one last call for anybody to have tarot readings. I'm going to wait 2 more minutes. Let's see if I can just do a general one for everybody watching right now. So the general, what we need to look for this week, all of us watching, is all right, clarity of mind. We need to use clarity of mind and use logic with everything that comes to us this week. Details. So many of you, and this is true, I think this is true for everybody this week, especially in this time where we have a lot of ideas that we want to put in place, but we're kind of foggy and we don't really know how to do it. So that was the Six of Wands upside down. That's what came out. And the very next card was the King of Swords, which is talking about using clarity of mind. So we need to kind of rid ourselves, find a space where we're just clear, and get rid of everything we're worrying about at the world events and everything. Get rid of it all, and then think about your ideas and how to make them work. Then, lots of energy. Yeah. I've been getting that all week. It's like the energy in the world right now is like, literally vibrating. So, and we have a lot of energy going on. So if you feel that energy, or you have energy coming from within you, you need to find a way to channel that. So if you have new ideas, I always call this like a data dump. I sit down in front of my Google Drive and I just type everything that's in my head just to get it out. That's how I channel things. Channel my energy. So find something to channel your energy with whatever ideas come, because they're going to be good ideas. Yeah, somebody out there is coming up with something that, and if you reckon that you just came up with this idea and you're like, can it work? Can it work? Can I make my freedom? And what this is you just need to clear everything that's worrying you, and just focus on it and get all the energy out of everything around the situation. All right, so that's it. I want to make sure if everyone can hit the like button for me, I appreciate it. Make sure you check out my Patreon page if you want personal one-on-one time with me, or you can email me. I thank everybody for joining me today. If you have any questions that you didn't get to ask, but you wanted to ask, just leave them in the comments and I will reply back to them. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. You guys have a fantastic day or have a nice evening wherever you are. Blessings to everybody.